Let's go! Woo! Boys. Boys. Some of us are climbing up. Climbing up. Some of us are falling down. It's that like mid-season point. We're gonna go over some power rankings.
Yes,
See what
sir.
people fucking represent with. So,
Some people's grips are very good. Some are
yeah.
very sissy-ish.
Well, it's funny because earlier when I was like, I'm like, because obviously I'm 2-5 right now, but I'm like, oh, there's three teams that are 2-5. There's a couple more that are 3-4, and then a couple more. Like basically, seven of the teams are within 2 games of each other, and I'm like, oh, like I got plenty of time, but then I'm like, dude, there's only 6 weeks left. Like, I can't string together too many more L's, like.
Right?
Yeah, last week was really last week was it's unfortunate, but it's like, yeah, if you're not, you need to start getting some dubs because if not, buddy, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I know, and that's the worst part is like last week was the probably the 1 week of all my 5 losses that like I truly put on myself because even though I had bye weeks and injuries, if I would have kept Darren Waller in instead of because my thought process behind that, I was like, dude, Darren Waller is just like he does nothing for 3 quarters and then like he ends with like 5 for 46 or something, and I'm like that
Hmm.
just stresses me out when he's going in with like one catch for 12 yards in this in the fourth quarter or whatever. And I was like, Michael Mayer, it was like great matchup against the Bears, and they're really integrating him into the offense. So I overthought it. If I would have kept Waller in, I would have won, even with all those, injuries and bye weeks getting to me this week. So, like I said, last week was kind of the one that haunts me the most because that one was truly on me. That if I didn't,
Yeah.
There's nothing
overthink
worse.
it.
There's nothing worse than getting a player that is consistently inconsistent and you don't know when to play him and he fucks you. It's almost worth
Right.
dropping him. It's almost worth just like fuck this guy, get him off your roster. You don't feel bad when you lose, and then
Yeah.
because I didn't mind your play, the play you did was
Mm-hmm.
alright. I get why you did it, but yeah, like Darren Waller's just one of those guys. You can't be upset because he's
Well,
just
yeah, and I'm just like now I'm gonna play him going forward, and he's gonna do the same thing that he was doing before
he's
this.
gonna do
So
shit.
Yeah.
he'll and the worst part is
Matchup dependent.
he hasn't been bad. Like I think up until last week, like before last week, he would like had the same stats as Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta just had more touchdowns, but like he had the same amount of receptions and yards and stuff. To where like he hasn't been awful, but like I said, it's just pulling teeth, man. Watching him get those points, and stuff, and it's
Yep.
like. So I know
Terrible,
it's just I can
terrible
rely on
QB.
like 7 to 9 points, and that's it. Oh, you talking about my trade with Shane?
No, 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 no. Darren Waller's
Oh,
QB is terrible.
oh,
Daniel
okay, yeah.
Jones. Yeah.
Daniel
Well,
Jones.
I kind of like Tyrod Taylor a little better than Daniel
Yeah.
Jones.
Isn't that
He's
funny? Everyone's digging the second stringers coming out. Like yeah, he's
right.
gonna chuck the fuck out of the ball. I don't give a shit. Get my guy some points.
I don't think he'll truck. He just looked like watching the Buffalo game. He looks better than Daniel Jones has all year. Obviously I didn't watch the Commanders game, but Darren Waller went off for 80 yards and 9 catches, whatever. But sorry, not all of us could be B-man over here with the 3-game winning streak going on. He's sitting there climbing out of it, and as he's doing it, he's shitting on us 2-5 players. He's like, "Bye, losers."
Dude, that was foreseen. That was foreseen. Ever since he got Christian Kirk, and I looked at his team, I'm like, dude, you got a solid team. Once you start getting some healthy people back, Saquon, Cup, once they start coming back, your team's
Yeah,
gonna be fucking contending. And it is. It
Yeah,
is.
no, it looks good right now. I'm finally feeling like I'm finding a groove. I got lucky this week again. Should have started fucking Jacoby Myers and I didn't.
You should start Jacoby every week. I don't
And
know
like,
why you don't.
he's in there, but like so like Jimmy Garoppolo was out that game, and the last time Jacoby Myers was with Aiden O'Connell, he didn't see the ball. They just didn't look his way. So I was worried that was gonna happen again. Went with something else. Did not work as well.
well, they also didn't play Aiden O'Connell until late because they were getting blown out. But Brian
Okay.
Hoyer started this last game, so
Okay. So yeah,
So that might have been why I went back to Jacoby, was because
sure,
of that.
for sure.
Although it would have been nice if people would have shared with Michael Mayer, just saying, last week. Although, I can't even blame it on that. If my kicker makes, fucking one of the 3 field goals or 2 field goals he misses, I win. Like, there's just so much. It's
Dude,
ridiculous.
fuck kickers. We need to get rid of kickers. I'm sorry. Kickers, I'd rather, at this point, like tight ends, I'd rather have a tight end because they're playing in the receiving game at least.
Yeah,
So you can
Yeah.
at least be like, oh, Komet will get love. Fuck kickers, dude. You can play everything right and still pick the wrong kicker. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
why is Sanders not on a team? Like one of the best offenses. You know what I'm saying? Is it Jason Sanders, right? Or
Yeah,
whoever
Jason
Miami.
Sanders. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like no one wants them because they score touchdowns all the time. But then like
yeah,
you use that same exact concept for like the Kansas City Chiefs or anybody else. It's the fucking opposite. It makes no sense. Baltimore Ravens, Justin Tucker. It's all about coaching. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Makes
yep.
Well,
no
it's fun.
sense. There's no consistency. We should get rid of them next year. Put it on the docket.
Well, it's funny. 2 things. So, first of all, I was like looking at kickers today, and there's like 4 top 10 kickers on the waiver wire right now. Like,
Right.
because people don't care. They just pick one up and then I'll ride them until, whatever. But then out at work, I was explaining to guys how we were, the guys over at work, that we were probably going to get rid of tight ends, because
Fuck tight
we
ends
all,
too.
yeah, we all hate them now. And then I was bitching about my kicker, and I was like, I'm going to vote to get rid of kickers too. And defenses. We don't need them.
We
And then
don't need
Michael,
defense either.
and
Let's
then
put
Michael,
4 running backs, 5 wide receivers. Let's run it. I want to see
well,
400 points scored.
so that's what he said. That's what my coworker said. He was like, "So you're just gonna have running backs and wide receivers?" I'm like, "Fuck it, yeah, let's do it. Like 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and like 2 or 3 flexes. Let's fucking ride, dude."
So
So, I'd
we're,
rather ride with that than trying to rely on a kicker or defense.
we're all busy every week. We're getting older. We're getting busier. People are having kids. Like it's hard, but we should really nut the fuck up and start a second league for the same 10 of us and do something, whether it's that vampire league or whatever it's called, or like one of these weird iterations to see how it plays
Or like
out.
a guillotine league.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I said. Vampire. I meant guillotine. Sorry, I couldn't
Mm.
remember what it was called.
No, you're good. Yeah.
But yeah, we should definitely just fucking nut up, make it. I don't have nothing tied to it. Fuck it, or $5. Who cares? Like, just
right.
have something tied to
Right.
it, and so
Well, I said like we could even do something like that, or even a best ball league where literally you draft a team and that's it. You don't do waivers, you don't do trades, you don't do nothing. It's just best ball, and
best ball.
the
Yeah,
team, the team you have each week, the best players automatically get slotted into that lineup, and then it's whoever has the highest score wins. But like I said, we should tie that to like the draft somehow, whether it's either making that your draft order how you finish, or just the the shooting the ping pong ball, like that's the order we do is how it finishes.
Right.
You finish
Yeah.
first, you shoot first. If it's what I mean, just something
Mhm.
like that instead of the pulling the cards or whatever. That way, like best ball, like I said, you don't have to do anything, but you can still kind of root of like, or you could just say, "Fuck it, I got all these injuries, I'm shooting last," but it doesn't like cost you money in the league or anything like that. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah. Or we do the one I think is hilarious, but not all of us have significant others where the significant others drafted the teams. Have you
collusion,
seen
collusion.
have you seen that where like they drafted
Dan would
the
force Katrina to learn everything. He'd literally have spreadsheets out every night at dinner. Be like, yo, so remember these top 5 QBs. I need one of them on my team, at least the top 3.
so remembers he's
Make
like
a
so
have Scarlett learn a song, about like Diggs and Hill going up to Metcalf, like just yeah, Cooper Cup, like come on, like everything will work, and then all of a sudden, Melanie's gonna draft you some shit team. Kelsey's not gonna do that for me, so I'm gonna get fucked, and then Dan's gonna have a best, yeah,
You
collusion.
just
No
have
way.
5 tight ends.
Justin will
that's
do the same thing. He'll get his girl to
but
do the same exact thing.
let's also be fair though, Craig, because I could also see Dan pissing Katrina off, and then Katrina purposely drafting a shit team for him. Like he has like
Yeah, you're right. That could happen.
10,
That could be
10
a huge.
defenses
You're not wrong.
He
We'd
has
have
like
to
10
instigate
defenses on his
something. We'd have to instigate
Yeah,
something.
I'm down for
Dude,
sure.
Katrina,
But
did you hear Dan called you fat in the group messages? What's going on? Jeez.
oh
And then
my
walk
god,
away and walk away. I'll plant the seed. I'll plant
do
the
it,
seed.
do it. You're the one to do it. You get in there all the time. Family dinners and shit. Just start whatever. But yeah, Dan said this. Dan said that. Said
Right
he
as she
hates
puts
your
another
kid.
scoop of mashed potatoes down or something. Really? Second
Really?
one? Dan was
Dan, you
just
see that?
saying.
You all right? You all right, cat?
Oh god, we should definitely do this now. We're gonna vote on this
He'll never
before. We should do it before the season ends. That way I'll set it up. I don't care. Like I'll be the commissioner of that league, the second league if we do it. But
We should definitely do something next year. We should definitely make it happen.
just like I think we need to like establish a set punishment for last place.
Ugh. I hate
I
punishments.
Yeah,
just don't come
punishments
in
seem
loud.
very like Hollywoodish, like not real. You know what I'm saying? They're also cringy. Also cringy. What are you
Yeah.
gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
They
but
are
could
all
you
very cringy.
Yeah.
could you imagine like Funk just golfing in a dress though, or
No.
skirt?
No.
No,
No.
you guys are so
I wouldn't
mean.
want to be near him. I'd be embarrassed. I'd be like, it's fucking embarrassing, dude. It's like we're
Well,
all
then
losing at
The
that point,
one
you
the
know?
one dick putter thing I didn't think was a terrible idea. That's a little bit funnier and less like invasive on your day.
And
P Funk had
dignity.
no problems doing it the one time where he wore the shirt and the sign or whatever. That was pretty
yeah,
funny.
that's true. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that
All
not
wasn't
right.
bad.
wearing a dress. I'm not walking out in traffic or whatever they fucking make people do.
Well, I'm not at
Fuck, what was the one
you're
dude
not
had to go to a
the Waffle
strongman
House.
contest and fucking go out
Yeah.
just fucking like, oh, and he's just like a fucking twerp. It's like, god, no.
No,
Cringy.
it'd be the best one
Which one?
is, and we would have to add. I don't know how much it costs, but we would have to add like $5 per person or something like that to the league
I'm out.
to pay for it. But like make the loser take the ACT.
See, that's 4 hours of your life you just wasted because you came in last because you got a shitty draft in fantasy football.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
and
just
what if they score really well and like you look dumb? You know what I'm saying? Now we all look dumb because he scored real high.
that's fine. Whoever
Nobody in
still
our
sucks
group's
at
getting that
fantasy
high.
football.
Maybe someone changes their life off retaking
No.
the ACT. They
Shane
get
hits it, gets a
scouted.
fucking 32. We all just fucking eat a barrel, blow our brains out. Like, this kid's a 32?
Shane, the president
Unreal.
contacted me. He wants you to come work for him. This is crazy.
This is
Says he
crazy.
need help. He needs help with the coronavirus. Let's
Uh,
go.
Yeah.
Shane's literally running the country 6 months.
That's
dude.
hilarious. Oh
Like, this
my
is all your
gosh.
fault, Josh. It's all your
Yep.
fault.
Great fucking idea.
Yeah, I had to do a
It-
punishment.
It would literally turn into zombies.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. All right, enough of this banter.
We'll
since
install a
we're-
lake at everybody's house. Everyone gets a lake.
Oh, let's do. I'm down for that.
Yeah,
Loser
that's
has
just-
to.
Shane would be a
Loser
great
has to-
president.
Shane would be a great president. Yeah, right.
Zombies and lakes, I'm down.
God damn, is that a six pack on Bright up there? President Bright? Comes out in a cutoff. All right, what are we talking about?
He
Win
has the
football?
Zeke outfit on as
The
president.
Zeke outfit, yeah. Really looking at them lower abs. I can tell.
You want this? Get on the President Bright plan. All right.
There's two parties in the Bright system. There's pussies and there's men. What are you?
Talking like a real pussy right now.
Yeah.
We're men in this country.
All right, we're way off track. Way off track. Power rankings, guys. We gotta go to power rankings.
For sure.
Power
for
rankings.
sure.
Yeah, otherwise we could be here fucking for 6 hours talking about that stuff. Bashing on Shane. Damn. All right, let me pull this up real quick. All right. So, week 8 power rankings, fellas. After week 7. We're gonna start from the bottom at 10. And then we're gonna go up, and we're not gonna really talk about anyone until Craig, if you want to like be like, oh, the Juquatic formula says with the score of this, blah blah, that's fine. But we're not going to discuss the team or anything until after it's done. Then we'll talk about people. So, you boys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
All right, Craig, I'll let you start. Who's your number 10?
My number 10 hasn't changed since week 1. It's Josh
Hey,
Rodriguez.
baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's
I already
go.
had you penciled in as that. It's like I know you, man. Jeez, I'm your Shane.
That was a really hard one for me to figure out. So yeah, sorry.
Whatever. B man. Wait, hold on. Is my Juquatic score the same still? The
I
Jumath is
did.
that?
I did not use the Juve math. This didn't require. It did not require Jew math for me to figure out where you belong, Josh. I'm sorry.
Wow. You use it on everyone else, but not me.
Mm.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I gotta make a change to mine.
Anything times 0 is still 0, is
That's
basically.
that's consistent. That's for sure.
All right, B man. Who's your 10?
P Funk.
Okay. Um. So I did some Mexi math, some
Ooh.
a
Whoa,
Mexaquatic formula,
okay.
and with my formula, it wasn't hard for Funk to come in last. Out of the scores, because my people have scores too, Craig. You're not the only one.
This is true. This
Um,
is true.
Funk was the only one to score single digits in this score with the score of 6.
Oof,
So, and no, I'm not explaining it because if Craig doesn't have to, I don't have to.
that's correct.
So,
There's one thing I don't want to know, and that's how you do math. So don't worry.
all right. So I'll do my number 9. Dan. He's at 9 with the Mexa formula score of Mexi score of 11.
Mexicali formula.
Mexicali formula of 11. Yep. B man, who's your 9?
I got Shane.
Okay.
I got Shane down there.
Nice. Craig?
You said you had Dan, Josh.
Dan is
I
10.
Oh,
Or
who's
at
your
9.
9? I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry. Yeah.
Dan
Okay.
at 9.
I
Funk
had
is 10. Yeah.
I had Funk as 9.
Okay. All right. Who's your 8, Craig?
My 8 is Shane.
We're doing snake style here. Uh, B man, who's your 8?
You.
Let's fucking go, my man, Brent. Let's go. Let's go. I have 8. My 8 is Shane, and then my 7 is myself.
Okay.
Um, B man, who's your 7?
Barber.
Wow.
Barber.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate him. I
I was
personally
gonna
just
say that's just
nah.
personal, dude.
Yeah, he calls me on the phone all the time, so it's like a personal hate thing, you know.
That comes into play. I understand. You'd make a great ref. You should be a ref.
Craig, who's your 7?
My 7 is Dan.
Dan. Okay. Who's your 6?
My 6 is Nate.
Nate. B man, who's your 6?
Dan.
Dan. Okay. My 6 is Bren, and then my 5 is Craig. Um,
Bullshit. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, you should be lower.
That's fair.
I'm gonna fucking send onion turtle at your ass.
That shit was hilarious. Oh yeah, that's
B-man.
Pikachu. That was Pikachu.
Yeah, that's Pikachu. Everybody knows this
But
big
everybody knows
B.
Pikachu.
Everybody knows Pikachu. He's a bee. He can't have a dick. Oh my god.
B man, who's your 5?
um, Dan.
No. Dan
No,
was your
6
6.
was Dan.
Oh, Nate Dogg then.
Okay, that makes more sense. Who's your 5?
Machiavelli. Birthday boy.
Ooh, I find that a little saucy there.
Mm.
Noted. Who's your 4?
Bren.
Okay, B man, who's your 4?
Me.
Hey.
Respectable. My 4 is Barber. My 3 is Justin. B man, who's your 3?
Craig.
Loser. Anyway, oh sorry, Craig. Who's your 3?
Mine. I put myself as 3. So me and Bren are on the same page for 3 and 4.
Ooh, how humble of you.
You must know how to do math, Bren. You must have good math skills.
Hey, jerk each other off later. All right, Craig, who's your
Well,
two?
my 2 is Matthew Berber.
Mm.
Ooh, okay. We got some stuff to talk about. B man, who's your two?
Mac.
Mac. Okay. So my two is Nate, and my number one is Mac. B man, who's your one?
Justin.
Justin. Craig, you're Justin as well.
That is correct.
Okay. All right, boys. So to recap, I'll put this on the pod as well. So at 10, uh, Brett and I have Funk. Craig has the future champion, and myself. At 9, Craig had, or I'll just do each one. So my list is number 1 is Mac, then Nate, Justin, Barber, Craig. 6 is Bren. 7's myself. 8 is Shane. 9 is Dan. 10 is Funk. For Bren, his number 1 is Justin, then Mac, then Craig, then himself, then Nate, and then at 6 he has Dan, Barber, myself, Shane, and then Funk last. And then Craig has Justin at 1, Barber at 2, himself at 3, Bren, Mac, Nate, Dan, Shane, Funk, and then myself as I said. So yeah, we got some interesting ones here. So let me see the most. So first of all, because I know they're gonna want to hear this, Shane and Dan, we all have relatively low. You know, Craig, you're the highest on Dan at 7, and everyone has Shane either 8 or 9. Um, Now, like Dan, he's 4-3, and then I think Shane's 4-3 too. So I want to ask you guys why. So Bren, we'll start with you. Why do you have them that low?
Lower points for. I'm not the biggest fan of the rookie running backs on Shane's team. I mentioned that like earlier in the season,
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen it kind of. Luckily, he's been like he's still like you were saying he's still 4 and whatever. So
3, yeah.
so yeah, he's still found ways to get production and survive. But you've seen it the 1 week with Bijan here recently, where like they didn't handle it very well, but at the same time it's like rookie running back didn't
Mm-hmm.
get used. Happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Craig, what about you?
Yeah, it's very similar. He's just got a lot, in my opinion, fringe, like 2 position fringe 1. Anything can happen. I think he's just. I don't believe in the running backs either. The rookie running backs. I think once Montgomery comes back, that Gibbs gonna fall out. Back in that, ending the week on like RB 20, 25. Nothing. He might have his big weeks, but I do think Joe Burrow has upside. I think he's got a lot of. He doesn't have a lot of studs. He's got a lot of decent players. He likes to say Kenneth Walker is an RB1, and by stats he is, but as Barber mentioned, he gets a lot of touchdowns, which is not a consistent stat unless you're McCaffrey, who scores every single
Right.
game. And then Dan, Dan is the. I think everyone knows the situation on Dan. It's nothing to hide. So his
Yeah.
players are going to kind of regress a bit. He is scoring a ton, but he's also kind of in the trenches with injuries as well as trying to plug in the right players each week. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
what's nice
I'm
about
with
Dan though is he's got wins. Shane, I think, is going to
right.
start getting into more competitive matches where it's
Well,
full
they have
squad
the
versus
same
four squad.
record right now, so
Correct. Yeah, they have the same record, but I do think they both start losing more than they win.
yeah, and I'm with you guys totally on that. Like I said, Dan is more on the injury front. Like, I mean, now he is going to get Justin Jefferson back, so if he could hold water till that helps. But he doesn't really have an RB2 right now. Who knows with his quarterback if Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins is he going to stay? He was top 3 for the first like 3 weeks, and then he dropped down to like QB 7 or 8 or something, and then
yep.
so who knows what you're getting from him. And then, like I said, losing, Nick Chubb. So that's why I have him so low. Um, if
I
he like if Chubb was healthy, he would be a lot higher for me. Dan would be. But obviously he's not getting him back. Go ahead, Greg. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I think it's kind of funny how we all think, I think numbers point to Jefferson coming back, but we still don't know, what's going to happen with him. So,
Right. If they lose in a couple more games, who knows? They might, or he might. Like I said, he doesn't have a contract yet, so he might, if they're not in the race. If the Lions pull up to like a 4 or 5 game lead, he might just say it's not worth me coming back until
right.
I get paid. So, but and then yeah, for Shane, it's just those stats I was telling you guys earlier about. He had the lowest points averaged in a win out of anyone, and the lowest points of opponents scored like in a win. I think all his wins, or most of them, people have scored under 100 against them or very close to that. So like, kind of like what you said, Craig. I feel like if people start being somewhat competitive against him, he's going to start losing those games instead of winning. Um, so that's why I have him lower. Um, all right, let's go to Barber because um, me and Craig have Barber in a top four, and B man, you have him last place or last in the playoffs at 7.
Hmm.
Why so low on Barber?
I just don't think he knows how to manage his team. I think he's just out in cloud nine
this
half the time.
this is
I'm like,
definitely
give me your
personal.
team. I'd do better.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. Bad manager. Can't,
Okay,
can't motivate
that's
his men.
Barber. Say sorry to Brent for whatever you did, brother.
You lack the leadership skills.
We're
Yep.
versing each other this week. That's what it is, dude.
Ah.
Yeah, we got
There it is.
we've been chit chatting back and forth a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
He had a good
Um.
start since we're doing the pod a little late. Like we know the Thursday results. He got the start he needed,
Right.
so I'm a little
Yeah.
like, I want to kill him. I want to kill him.
I know. I was stoked at halftime because I left my phone in the car for the Red Wings game. Come back out and Mike Evans had 1.7 at halftime. It's like score, and then there's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and he's still at 1.7. I'm like, yeah. And then the last 2 minute drive, he got fucking a touchdown and another catch or two. I mean, it's not a great day, but he's still at 12.9. I was like, damn it.
Yep,
1.7 was a lot better. I
hell of
like
a
that a
lot
lot
better.
better.
That's like the Thursday night you're looking for someone to have if you're versing them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then because like I was hoping Montgomery would be in, but obviously like we were, last couple days it he hasn't practiced all this, and then I was like, do I play White or do I leave Aaron Jones in? And then I left Jones in, and the White goes off. So I'm like, hopefully that one doesn't come back to haunt me, but we'll see. Um, Another one I want to talk about is Mac. Brennan, I have him one. Bren has him two. Craig, you have Mac all the way down at 5. Why is that?
I think I mentioned it when Dan was on the pod, and I think it showed itself 2 weeks in a row where his triple stack is not. I get it. I get the triple stack, right? And you look at it, and on paper, it's like that's 20, 20, 20. That's 60 points right there, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you're relying too much on a single game, and that script could go either way. And I think more often than not, especially with the way you know some of his other players are trending, like Pollard, I just think it's gonna hurt him more like when it matters. So like I think he's gonna make the playoffs, but like I think come it's gonna take one good match, and like all of those players have showed they're inconsistent, whether it's Eckler or Herbert. So I personally think he's in contention and he could win it, but he has 3 games unless he gets the first week bye, and that means you have to have all 3 of those players probably ball out for you for those 3 games to win every match. Because you see, he almost loses if those guys don't play. Like if he goes against up anybody else who has a leg in 7 or 5 or 6 good offenses, he has a leg in 3 or 4. So like I don't know. I personally just put him lower because of that triple stack. Even if he changes it up with like you know um I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. Jeez, the Lions quarterback, our boy.
Jared Goff.
Goff.
Yeah, like he can change it up with that, but I don't know. I think that's it's more of a detriment than a positive, in my personal opinion.
Okay, that's fair. You're allowed to have that, Craig. your own
Yeah,
opinion.
I'm a fan of the stack. Some people are not this year. Justin's kind of mentioned that he's not a fan of the stacks this year. So,
The
Yeah, I mean,
certain stacks make sense.
sure,
Certain stacks make sense.
sure.
well, and I think, and to Brent's point, I think if I'm wrong here, Brent, let me know. But that offense, I think is we would agree. Like if you had individual, those were on individual people. So like, say he had Herbert, I had Eckler, Craig had Keenan Allen, you would be like, this is a high-powered offense. And
Yeah,
I think just because you put that on the same team, that doesn't change that. Now I do agree to your point, Craig. Like
could
you're
cost
all
him
or
a game.
nothing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's
Mhm.
if they suck, your whole team's going down. Mostly,
Yep.
especially that person who sucks is Herbert. Like
Correct.
it's
Correct.
one thing if Herbert's doing great because then that most likely means Allen's doing great and whatever. To where Eckler might have a down game, but like if Herbert has a horrible game, that tanks that entire offense. Which like, and that's to Craig's point.
Which
But if I'm
again,
gonna
if sorry, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I didn't mean to
I
interrupt
was
your
just gonna
thought.
say if I'm gonna take that chance with the stack like that, that's probably one of the you know 2 or 3 offenses I would do it with. Them, Philly. I don't think I would really stack like the Chiefs unless you get Kelsey and Mahomes. Um, so like those two for sure, and then maybe like the Niners or something. Would be the three that I'd be like, screw it, I'll have Brock Purdy, McCaffrey, and Ayuk or something. Something like that. But it is definitely a risk though, because
For sure.
like you said, especially in the playoffs, that's 3 matchups if he makes it all the way and doesn't have a bye, that he has to make sure they don't bust,
Yeah, it's
and
one thing
stuff.
when they bust and you have one guy not do good.
Right.
It's one thing when
Yeah,
you
because
bust
that's a
and you have
30
three
year
guys.
team busting if they all bust. Yeah.
Correct.
So I get your point. I just not as worried about that, I guess, as you
I'd
are.
be worried if I was him. I almost beat him with the subpar team. I think I lost by a point. So
Yeah, I mean, he can make the argument he still won with them underperforming. I mean, you can make the argument
I
both
mean,
ways.
it was like, yeah, you can make it both ways for sure.
So, okay. Trying to see here if there's any others that kind of stood out. Otherwise, I don't think there's really any other, like, we're all kind of on the same page. I feel like except for those couple, because like we don't really have anyone where it's like, you know, I have myself at 1 and you guys have me at 10. Like, there's nothing drastic like that.
Yeah.
Was there anything you guys wind
Why
up?
do you have what makes you think Nate? Why do you think Nate has the second best team?
Um, so in my point system thing that I did, him and Mac tied for the most points. And a little insight into that, what accounted for that is points for, which he's very high in, points against, which he's very high in. He's also had a lot of what I considered good wins, which were both you and your opponent scored in the top 5. Or I'm sorry, good losses where you and your opponent scored in the top 5. Where someone like Shane has a lot of bad losses where both you and your opponent were bottom 5 scorers. So you don't want to count on that. So like there's just all those factors he kind of ranked high in, and it's just he had a high score, and it's just I feel like he's getting the short end of the stick where he's scoring the second most points and facing the most points or something like that a lot of weeks. And um he's still putting up, like I said, he's up there with points for. If he wasn't, I probably would have him lower. But even with like Derrick Henry not being there, like if I was going off like looking at his lineup, I probably wouldn't have put him there. But the system has him up there, and looking into it, I just kind of agreed with it that he's a top person. I
I do
think
like
he's
Nate's roster. I think he has a pretty good
yeah,
roster.
like
He's
I
got a
think
lot of
he's
those
in it.
players
Yeah.
that are showing up, like Pacheco.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
got
I think
Purdy, Nico. He's got a lot of good players.
right, and like I say, he's been really unlucky with like I've had injury unluckiness with my team but he's had like his teams perform, but then someone just happens to go out like he faced Mac when he put up 180, or whatever and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And he's faced, like I said, just a lot where he's top 3 or 4 scorer, and he happens to face one of those other 2 or 3 people that are higher than him.
That's
And
fair.
I
I
just
think
don't.
looking at that, and with that being said, I probably could have placed him lower than 6.
Yeah, and so that's all. I just feel like the it's going to even out in the end, and he's probably too far behind to finish any. He won't finish second, but just because of what his record is right now. But I
Being
think he'll
two
be
and
higher.
five sucks because if he has another 2 bad games, he's fucked.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing now is like he's gotten unlucky with the people scoring higher than him when he scores high. But if that happens again, or like you said, Craig, if for he happens to have a bad week
Can
because
you imagine being so pissed every year and then finally taking Kelsey number 1, and then you're balling out but you can't win? Oh.
Yeah.
dude, that's part of the reason I didn't keep him. I was like, he was on my team last year. What did that get me? A first round exit, it didn't. So I was like, I'll take a chance somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, like I said too, though, we got 6 weeks left, I think, of the regular season, and we got everyone within 2 games of each other, basically, except for Justin, who's 6-1. So still a lot, and Mac, who's 5-2. Sorry, Mac, who's 5-2. But other than that, it's still kind of anyone's game where, like Craig, for example, I'm just saying because you're right here. If you get hit with injury or something, I'm not wishing that. I'm just saying you get hit with injury or something, or you just have a stretch where people aren't performing. You could find yourself fighting for a playoff spot too. Stuff.
Very true.
So
Very close.
I will say that don't give up and maybe make trades too. If I think
You only
everyone
got
could probably make a trade or two.
cut off as week 12, right? Do it quick.
Yeah, week 12 is the cutoff. That is correct. We changed that. It's week 12 now, not the end of the season. So keep that in mind, people. And I don't want, I didn't know that as an excuse. We're telling you on the pod, and if you're not listening, that's your own damn fault. And Craig sent it in a text when we voted on it.
Hmm.
Bro, you said we only
So,
have 6 games left. That's incorrect, right?
we might have 7, I think,
I think we
including
have
this
8,
week 8.
right?
No,
We're
it's
on
only
week 8. One,
14
two,
weeks.
three, four,
Yeah, I
five,
was gonna say it's
6.
only 15 weeks.
No, 14 is the regular season.
There's
15 is
18 weeks. There's 18 weeks.
Yeah, but we don't play week 18, and the playoffs are 17, 16, and 15. So the
Okay.
regular season is only 7 more weeks.
We don't play
That's
week
what.
18. I didn't know that. I shows you
Yeah,
much.
No.
Shows you how
because
much I pay
usually there's
attention.
so many players sitting out. If
That's
you
fair.
Right.
had your Super Bowl game on that weekend, it'd be bad news for us.
Oh, that
Right.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, anyone else? Any other rankings you guys wanted to talk about before we move on to picks?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm
Yeah.
good.
Okay. I did want to, because Craig mentioned it earlier. That whole RB1 conversation with Shay. It is for running backs. It's a little ridiculous to like
Achan's still a
say,
top 10 running back. He hasn't played in 3 weeks.
well, right, because that's the thing with especially the running backs is you got injuries that like, you know, yeah, Walker's a top 10 running back, but that's because Chubb's hurt. Kamara missed 3 games. Whoever, Eckler
But
missed a
that
couple
still
games.
technically does make him an RB1
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
it
in this
depends on
scenario.
how you look at it because yeah, if you play more games than someone else, then yeah, you're gonna have more fantasy points than them, and that's what the ranking goes off of is who has the most overall points. But like
Well,
another way to another
good.
way to look at it is points per game. So like if Eckler's played 4 games, how many points is he averaging in those games? That's how like it should be ranked because that's a more accurate description of you know how effective that person is in the games he's playing. Because yeah, like if someone plays, 7 games compared to someone else playing 5, yeah, the chances of them having more fantasy points is very high. Like,
yeah,
so all I'm saying is like the term running back one is kind of a loose one in
yeah,
fantasy football.
yeah. I looked at it
Like
more as like An RB1 would be the guy no matter what, is going out getting you 20 to 25 points minimum every week. And Christian McCaffrey
Hmm.
is really the only guy, in my opinion, who has met that on a
Kamara.
consistent basis. And Kamara, since he's come back, sure.
Yeah.
Um, so
ETN.
the way I kind of looked at it was
Hmm.
like, you either have McCaffrey or you really like the situation you have. So like ETN is
Right.
seeing a majority of the volume, 25,
Hmm.
almost 30, attempts a game. Same thing
Yeah.
with Kamara, same thing with Williams before he got hurt. So you either
Right.
really liked your situation and that was basically getting you that RB1 production. I know Justin's
Right.
probably fuming because he's like, I got two RB1s. You like your situations.
Right. Well, and
Right.
Mostert is an RB1 as long as Achane's hurt.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
when Achan comes back, he was starting to prove that he's the back. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying Mostert was going to be a nobody, but he was
Correct.
more of an RB2, RB3 with
Right.
Achan in
Changes
there.
the situation all of a sudden. Now there's that
Right.
committee involved, and maybe he doesn't get you that 30 points like he has been.
Exactly. And with
So,
like these injuries too, that's kind of the crappy thing. Like the true RB1s, like you said, CMC.
Zach Moss, RB1.
Yep,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's hard.
Danny
It's
should.
hard. It really depends on like how you define it is really odd.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
really everyone has their own vision of an RB1.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
So like that for Shane's team, yeah, Kenneth Walker is his RB1 for
Correct. Yeah.
sure.
And he
but they're
Like
all
likes his
and
RB2.
situation there. Yeah.
and our yeah, but I think in the grand scheme of things, like if everyone is healthy, he's not an RB1. But even that, like, okay, Nick Chubb, who has a season ending injury, that's not fair to count him against
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker, but someone like say Kamara, who I'm just using as an example off the top of my head because he had a 3 game suspension, but then now he's back the rest of the year. It's like you think if he played those 3 games, especially like now it's been what 4 or 5 games since he's been back. Like you can easily say like he would have been producing those 3 games and he would be ahead of him. And you know what I mean? Like you can make arguments for a bunch of people. There's probably like 2 or 3 that you're like these are the top guys, you know, or whatever. Because too, like you got people like Henry who just fell off the map. Pollard hasn't been that good. People were thinking he could be the RB1 overall, and
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't been anywhere close to that. So you know what I mean? It's like, and then like that, you have unexpected people like Kyron Williams. Until he got hurt, he was pretty much putting up 20 points a game. I think he had like
Yeah.
one bad game. Other than that, it was like 18, 19, 20 at least a
I
game,
think you're right.
and
Yeah.
it was crazy. So, but all right, boys, let's get to these picks. So last week I went 4-1. Shocker. My only loss was me picking myself. Um, Craig, you went 3-2. Bren, you went 3-2. Dan with the solid 4-1 as well.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
All
Yeah,
right. Kid
yeah,
does know his shit. All right.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's
wait, it's a
welcome. He's
small
I was
sample
welcome
about
size.
back. Is all I'm trying to say.
You
right.
can come
Yeah,
back. You can come back, but it's
but
a
I'm
small
with
sample
Craig on this
size.
one.
Small
Yeah, don't
sample.
Small
be.
sample size.
Yeah, don't be going around bragging
According to
and
him,
be like, oh.
this would be the first time. Only the second time he's gotten one wrong.
Well, the funny part is he still doesn't send them to us his picks. So like, oh, the picks I made on the pod, those aren't my real picks. I'm actually 5-0 every week. Like
Yeah.
Even when he loses, I knew not
even
to
when
take
yeah,
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
was,
saw that. I actually picked the other guy.
yeah, that was actually Katrina's pick that I wrote down there for some reason. I don't know why.
Had it in a parlay.
Bitch cost me. All right, so we'll start off with uh, for myself here. I'm going for the upset here. I like
Ooh.
I like my matchups. This has been the closest to healthy my team has been in a while. Um, so I'm shooting for the moon here, baby. Let's go.
I'm going with Mac.
Bren, you were in my good graces until now.
Yeah. The power rankings reflect. I think his team's solid, and I think there will be some inconsistency from your boys that result in a loss this week.
You got some.
That would never happen. My guys be inconsistent. Sorry, Craig. Go ahead.
Oh, you good? Oh boy, you got some good matchups this week, John. I'm not gonna lie, you definitely got some really good matchups.
I do like him. That's part of the reason
Um,
I like taking that risk,
yeah, we
picking
see he's
myself.
got 12 from Evans already going into the weekend,
See,
which is
and I'm not saying that to like, I'm not trying to, but I'm like, I'm okay with that from Evans
yeah,
compared to what he has been doing, outside of Marshawn Lattimore just being his daddy. Like
right.
he puts up like 20, 25 points a week, like to say, because he's such a boss. So for him to only get that, I'm actually happy with 12.9, as bad as that sounds.
Josh, I'm gonna go you. I'm gonna go
Let's
you,
go.
and
I
I'm
got
gonna.
it.
This is going to be another week where that triple sack proves Matt wrong, and
Oh,
or next week I don't talk about it anymore because I look like an idiot. So,
right. He's either gonna shut you up or
yeah,
it's gonna make you seem the smartest guy in the room. Uh, all right, so we got Craig and myself picking me, and then B Man picking Matt.
Hmm.
Let's go, Bren. Bren, I'm assuming you're picking yourself.
Heck yeah, dude. I got I gotta fucking climb back in it, but I was texting Matt. It's like for me, this one really comes down to Jalen Hurts because like Josh Allen showed up, right, got him his 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
I like the rest of my team, but Jalen Hurts has not been giving me those like big performances. I need one of those this week. I need him to match Josh Allen so the rest of my team can punish Matt, and then I'm still praying that Tyreek Hill somehow manages to like be like, I'll take a week.
Well, he already said he's playing, and he's off the injury
I've
report, so
Yeah, I
I
figured he would
I
be.
doubt that's happening. Craig, who you going?
you gotta play Christian Kirk, dude. I don't know what you're doing. You can't play Pickens. That's a horrible call.
Yeah, that's his
Um,
boy. That's his boy.
You know,
well, in that case, this is the
so
week pitch. Go ahead.
h- did you watch last week's game for the Jaguars?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you know that Kirk had no points going all the way into the fourth quarter, almost all the way down to the last play again, and he's kind of done that 2 weeks in a row. Steelers, to me, kind of look like they're more like on the up. Pickens is a hot target. Deontay Johnson's back in that offense. I don't know. I've just got one of
You know
those.
who's looked like trash up to this last week? Pittsburgh.
I might go Pickens. Oh, Pittsburgh.
Pickens works as well. It's I see what you're doing. And then you have you have
I
like
was,
three amazing flex players, so I
hmm
understand your frustration.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm struggling over it. Which one do I
I
start?
I do think you play the better quarterback, which is Lawrence. So, but that's just my call.
We'll
And if you're
see.
not going to do it, I think this is an easy week for Barber. I think Gus Edward. I think Baltimore is going to just destroy Arizona. So I think Gus Edwards is going to eat. So I think that's going to be a big difference maker in your matchup. And I will never bet against Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill. I think Cincinnati's on the up and up, and you got a really good team, buddy. But the fire's going to get you this week.
The fire. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know. I'm not as against the Pickens play as Craig. Both of these defenses give up a lot of points to the wide receiver. Um, so you could kind of pick your poison there, and
Yeah, that was the other thing I saw. They're like 24 and 25 or whatever.
yeah, like they're right next to each other. So
Right next to each other. Pickens, to me, I guess, has the higher ceiling, and I always seem to float towards that. I think Kirk's
yeah.
ceiling is literally like 20 points. So it's
Well, and I see what Craig's saying about playing the better quarterback,
yeah.
but I would look at it different of who's the team most likely to be down and
Hmm.
having to play catch up. I would say if you think Jacksonville's the better quarterback and team, that would be Pittsburgh. So that would be my tiebreaker for between him and Kirk. Um, so I do like that play, but I'm going Barber because fuck Brand. That's why. Let's go, Barber. Don't let me down. I'm sticking up for you, Barber. All right.
Jacksonville's gonna get up, right? You're talking about
Uh,
more passes. Jacksonville's gonna get up by 3 scores,
right.
which I guess,
That's the other side
and
of
then
the
they're gonna
argument.
chew the clock out, and you're gonna get a bunch of shit passes to Pickens. But I guess if you look at it that way, if they're up 3 scores, maybe Kirk doesn't get that much love either. Yeah. Good luck,
Well,
Bren. Good luck figuring this one out.
well, right, because you can look at it the other way. Like Kirk's a big reason why they're up 3 scores. you know, and I will
Yeah.
say, like
Yeah,
I said when you made that trade, Bren, like Zay Jones was a big part of that offense in
and
that first
he's.
week when all of them were there. Kirk
Hmm.
was nothing, and that was my. But Zay Jones just seems to have a mysterious knee injury that can't
Correct.
get
He's
healed,
still out. Yeah.
and
So
so I think as long as it's Ridley, Ingram, and Kirk, like Kirk is still gonna have a big role.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, it is
It's a
a tough
thinker.
thing to decide, but I don't have to make it. So I
Trust your
hope you make.
heart.
Yeah, I hope you make the wrong one.
Trust your heart.
Um,
Pickens is
let's
projected more points. Aren't you supposed to put in the guy projected more points?
projections mean nothing.
Projection.
Nothing.
One is
Speaking of
projected. One is projected. One more catch with no yards than the other. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck figuring that one out.
all right, let's go to Funk versus Justin. I think this might it's either gonna be Mac and myself or this matchup that's gonna be the most lopsided, I think, of the day. Um Depends what team of mine shows up. But Funk did get a pretty good start from Godwin. Um I just like Justin, even with that good start, it's still a 50-50 game. And Mahomes is Mahomes. Mostert, A-Chan's still out. I don't think Jeff Wilson's gonna do anything. ETN, I was completely wrong on him coming into the season.
You're telling me I should have fucking kept them, dude.
That's a fair point. McCaffrey's good, but Damian Pierce, who knows how he's gonna be. Um, Ridley, man, and I've been more wrong on him too. After week one, I thought I was a fucking genius on him, but he's
Hmm.
done nothing since.
No, I thought
Um,
he was gonna be really good continuously. I don't know what's going on there.
right. So I'm going Justin on this one. I think he goes to 7-1. He was another one when I was doing those stats and stuff that kind of jumped out at me of he was kind of with Shane of like no one was really scoring on him. Like he now granted his points for like he was scoring like 140 points a game. Like he's balling. So he's not like Shane where he's bottom 3 in points for or whatever and has 4 wins. So I was just surprised to see that he was his opponents were scoring so little against him. Um, but yeah, I'm going Justin. Craig, who you going?
Until he has an injury to his top 5 players, I'm gonna go Justin. It's just too potent.
Yeah,
It's too
I would
scary.
agree.
It's too scary of a team.
Yeah, I gotta go Justin as well. Patty Mahomes against
Easy.
Denver. I mean, it could be 6 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, just how
I
much he
like this though
chooses.
because the best team in the league rarely wins the league. So this lessens Justin's chances of winning the league.
Yeah, that
This is
bye
very
week
true.
curse.
The
That
better
bye
he
week
does.
curse.
It'll get
Yep.
him.
Yeah. I think he should start pulling players around week 8. Really try to get around that bye
We'll
week.
all try and like get Shane into that first spot again. I got him out. Yeah.
Oh, doing real well, Shane. Got him out again. Yeah, I think statistically it hasn't happened, right? I don't. We have to go back and look at the league, but I think
Yeah, you'd have
there,
to
ev-
go back and look.
I've
they might have
I've
been
done
one.
that.
There might
There,
have
I
been
think
one.
there is. I have to look at the stat, but it was something along the lines of like, I guess it's not as bad as I thought of. Like, there's 4 times where the highest scoring points or best record, I don't remember which one I did, um, made the finals and they won 2 of them. I know Funk was one of them he had the best team, and then think Dan,
Dan, I was gonna say, I think Dan
I
definitely
think
had
Dan was
that
the
one
other one,
season on
and then
lock.
I'm pretty sure the 2 that lost were Shane. where he got to the, or at least one of them was where he got to the final and
That
lost.
does make sense. He chokes. He's a choke
Yeah.
artist.
Um,
Joke
but
artist.
it was funny because I'm pretty sure when I was doing that like Shane had, I was like, wow, I did not realize that Shane had like most points for in the league for like quite a bit of times.
Yeah.
But he was either losing the first round or make
Mm-hmm.
the finals. That was his. Those were his only options. He never like just
Correct.
advanced and then lost in the second round. Like
Mm-mm.
he was out in after the bye week or or made the finals. So I was like, oh, that's one way to go. Yes, but all right, let's go to Nate versus Dan. B man, who you gonna go on this one?
Oof. This one's a tough one. I these guys, they got close level teams. Like they're both pretty good. They got guys who will produce right now. Um, Dan with a slightly rough start, but this is kicker, so it's kind of like meh, you know.
Meh.
Yeah, and six isn't the worst, not the
Six is
best.
fucking like. Yeah, I wish I got 6 a week for my kicker, dude.
Right. If I got six last week, I would have won. So
Right.
I was
I
like,
would be
hey.
fine with it. I would trade. I would trade the boom potential of an 18-point kicker for like a solid 7 a week
Every
point
week,
kicker,
yeah.
dude.
Well, that's part of the reason I went with my kicker this week. I was like, he gets points. Like he had a 3 1 week, but other than that, he's like around that 7 and 9 between that, like
Okay.
almost every week. And I was like, I'll take that. Like over some of these other people. But sorry, B man, who you
I think I'm gonna go with Nate. I think I'm gonna go with
Nate?
Nate.
Okay. What about you, Craig? Who you going?
I agree. I think Nate should put in DJ Moore over London personally. But Nate's been doing a great job at snagging players that like he's got Kincaid now.
Oh, I was
Nate's
so
got a
pissed.
really, but minus his QB situation currently.
Yeah.
He's got a really well team and a lot of players that are up and coming. And I will say the only downside I see on Dan's team currently is the fact that the Browns are running a backup QB. Don't know how that's really going to affect Cooper. Don't know how Hunt's going to play, depending on whether or not we still don't know. And it's Friday. We don't know if Ford is going to be in or not. He was practicing, so
Right.
I think Dan has a harder battle this week, but he does have a healthy QB. So he's got advantage at QB, but I think Nate's got him elsewhere. I think it'll be a close one, but I think Nate takes it.
Yeah, I'm with you on the DJ Moore play just because I think they'll be down and the Chargers have a horrible secondary. They give up a lot of points, so I would go that over London, where you figure they're gonna be up pretty big. I think pretty early in control, and when they're in control, what do they like to do? Run the
Throw the
ball.
ball. They throw it.
Yeah, okay.
Useless fucking team.
Especially on the road, like Desmond Ritter is worse than Jared Goff with splits of like at home and on the road. Like so that would be another reason I would take out London there. But yeah, I was pissed because I had the number one waiver, obviously. Um and I was choosing between the Falcons defense or Dalton Kincaid. So I was like,
Mm,
I don't know if I would get, whoever my second option was, whoever I didn't choose, I didn't think I would get them. So I was like, who do I want? And at the time they hadn't said that Dawson Knox was going on IR. They just said he was injured. And
gotcha.
so I went with the defense and then I was like, oh, and then Nate got Kincaid. I was so pissed because I was like, I should have just went Kincaid, but hindsight's 2020. But all that to say, I'm going to win Nate as well. By the way, Dan trying to sell me on Kirk Cousins. Second week in a row, he doesn't start Kirk Cousins. Like, piss off, Dan. Um, just kidding, buddy. But yeah, I'm going Nate as well. So that's another clean sweep for Nate. Craig versus Shane. This one should be a good one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Here,
I
Craig,
don't think Kenneth Walker plays.
he's playing. He's off the injury report.
I don't think he plays.
See, I'm the same with Tyreek Hill. I don't think he plays.
If he plays, he plays.
Take him out of your lineup, Matt. You don't
Yeah,
need
I mean, if he plays, he's playing distract. He's playing like 25%
Yeah.
snap count.
for
So
sure.
Yeah, I think that about Justin Herbert too. He's not playing. I
well,
heard.
let's not get ridiculous here, Josh.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, come on.
Who else? Who else am I gonna choose? His team's fucking great. Like, okay, he's not gonna play Waddle. Like, okay, then he'll just put in fucking Pittman. Thank God he didn't put in Gabe Davis. You know,
Right.
like.
God, dude, balled out.
So, anyways, Craig Vershane. Craig already got a solid start with 16 from Diggs. That's always great, like getting like 16 with no touchdown.
Feels
Like,
bad, man. I want 20. He's my number one pick. Give me 20.
right, which is fair, but that's hard to do without a touchdown.
I'm
You
kidding.
know.
I do like 16. I agree. I love
So
Diggs.
yeah,
I
like
love
I said,
Diggs.
without
Diggs
a
is the
touchdown,
man.
I love 16. I
The
know.
best
I
part is
want.
every time he gets hit, he gets up healthy. The dude's
Yeah.
a stud.
He's a
He knows how to catch a ball and get down.
Yep.
He doesn't fucking
Yeah,
hurt himself. He's great. Love it. Love it.
unless he knows like he's not gonna get wrecked in, he'll try to get some yak. But yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise he's just like, nope, screw this. You know.
Smart, dude. He's gonna last a long time.
Yep.
Well, at least another 2 years.
Well, I hate to do this, but I'm going Craig.
Ooh. It
Gross.
hurts. It hurts just saying it.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
want it.
like,
Every time you guys vote for me, I lose. Don't vote for
Good.
me.
In
Good.
that case.
Clean sweep for Craig.
Damn it!
This is the week that Burrow and Higgins go off for
Wouldn't it be? Yeah.
40 points. I know I don't know. I'm okay with that trade then. Higgins for Tua. I mean, Higgins hasn't been doing anything for me all year.
I was gonna say I think it's a move that was fair for you to make. Yeah.
Like
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
I was very okay with the upgrade at QB, and
Yeah.
I have Zay Flowers and Rasheed Rice is on the rise, so I was like, I don't need to deal with that headache anymore.
I've always hated Higgins. Always
I
hated
don't
him.
hate him. He has the talent. It's just this has been one of those years that's just like,
Yeah, it's looking like one of those years for Cincinnati. So,
yeah, for Cincinnati and then for Higgins especially that like he just, he had 2 games with 8 targets and he had two catches out of 16 targets. Like you don't like.
Burrow's just getting healthy, bro. The Bengals are going to end a top 5 offense.
I mean that might be
See.
true, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I just wasn't willing to wait on it. You know?
That's fair. You
Yeah.
needed to make a trade. I
Right,
like what you
right.
did. You're fine.
No,
Yeah,
that's
especially with
another reason why I
QB.
liked it too. I think it was time to make a move if you were gonna make one, and you did, and it's
Yep.
happened.
Right.
Good job.
And if Fields ever gets back to the Fields of last year where he was, balling out for Craig, like, then that's great. But if not, I have an option in. I don't have to pick the waiver wire every week, or over trade for Kirk Cousins or something. It's like, so. All right, I'm going Craig. Craig's going Craig, right, Craig? Or are you gonna break the curse and pick Shane instead, so that it's not a clean sweep for you?
Nah, Shane's trash. I'm going to whoop his ass.
Yeah, he is.
I'm going to beat that
Yeah.
roster full of wide receiver 3s and running back 2s. No problem.
Do it. B-Man, who you going?
I've been teetering back and forth.
Oh, no.
I don't like either of the running back situations necessarily. I like Craig's flex typically, but
You know who has the most touchdowns on the season right now?
Coop.
Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison.
Oh, Jordan is. The most touchdowns on the season?
He's first or second. One of the two.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Boys playing that Thielen role real well.
How many does he have? Let's see. He has
I
2,
think
4, 6. He's at least tied for first because you know who else has 6? David Montgomery.
Nice.
I think Shane has a sneaky good week. I'm just feeling it. I'm going Shane. Sneaky good week.
You're feeling Shane.
Thank God I did not get a clean sweep.
Yeah.
You're just feeling
Shane,
it?
Just
Fucking
feeling it.
bullshit. He's got 2 Eagles and you want your fucking Jalen Hurts, but
Devontae Smith,
whatever.
I was eyeballing that boy, dude.
Yeah, but
You know, Craig, did Shane ever remember in Sleeper he was teasing big news dropping? Did he ever drop that big news?
yeah, he said he was gay.
I think I did read that. Yeah.
He said he's been experimenting with butt plugs for like a couple months now.
As
And
he's been
now like
cleaning the house, yeah.
yep, as he's been doing
Oh,
and then
the plunger's getting real deep, huh?
yeah, I think he started not gendering his children for some reason as well too. So he's really taking a step forward.
Yeah, you can't identify your own children. That's just wrong nowadays.
Buried
And
all his
he
guns. Yeah, buried all his guns.
got Wi-Fi.
Got Wi-Fi.
Oh
Yeah,
my god, the
he's
government
got.
has him.
We lost
The
him.
gov-
He's their dog
government
now.
has him. Yeah,
He's just a
we can't
government
have
dog.
him. Hey, we can't have him as our shaman no more. He's tainted.
He's tainted. You're correct.
He's
You're correct.
he's tainted.
I
All
love
right,
Shane.
boys.
Love you, buddy.
Anything else, or I think that's a wrap for the week, eh?
I
Good
think
luck this weekend,
so.
boys.
Good